Hey, this is GG Your Face, and I'll be talking about a game between ajtls and LiquidHayprO. This is game number 2 at the GosuCupUS edition. This is the finals, and last game ajtls took it, and it was a pretty cool game as it did involve a lot of bases, but those bases didn't really convert into an advantage for some reason. But it was, I think, a story of the unit composition and upgrades, as one player's opt to get a lot of upgrades whereas the other player didn't get as many upgrades, and we'll see what happens this time. The map is Scrap Station. For those of you who are not familiar with it, there is one tower here that gets you a view of the middle of this V shape, and another one right next to the high yield expansion, and there is a secret tunnel with 2 sets of destructible rocks. This is a shorter way, also gets you to avoid the Zelnaga watchtower, and the opponent might not know you're coming even if he has a tower. Right now LiquidHayprO is pumping drones pretty hard, and ajtls actually decided to put a supply depot inside his base. Some Terran players would like to put the supply depot outside, as it does help block the choke, and this is a pretty wide choke, one of the widest chokes in all the maps available, and it looks like LiquidHayprO has opted to get the early expansion, and he will be throwing that down at 15 hatch. Not uncommon to see that from a Zerg player, especially on this map with the rush distance being a little bit far, and he will see that ajtls is doing the barracks into refinery. Probably an orbital command is coming up relatively soon, and we see a spawning pool going down at 14 or 15 as well. And we'll see if a tech lab is going up, and it is indeed a tech lab along with the orbital command. The hatchery is finishing up. As I mentioned last game, you always want to have your expansions saturated with drones, or at least the moment that they become up, they should have some stuff there. Because when your expansion goes up and you don't have anything there collecting minerals, it's like not having an expansion and just being down 300 minerals in the case of the Zerg and 400 minerals in the case of Protoss or Terran. ajtls has scouted this expansion, and he will also see the spawning pool with this one SCV, 3 drones transferring out, 1 queen and some zerglings being produced at the moment. And ajtls is not actually blocking off his ramp. This is rather odd. Usually players choose to block off the ramp no matter what they see. And here the SCV is going around to see and make sure there's no hidden stuff from his sight. And he's also probably hiding from the Zerg units, as he wants to remain alive as long as possible. But LiquidHayprO, being a pro that he is, he knows that the SCV was around here somewhere, and he should be able to find it with that Zergling, and that Zergling is chasing the SCV. We'll see if the SCV actually goes down. The SCV is running, and ooh, very nice play by ajtls, opting to get the high yield expansion. It is a little bit further and more difficult to defend, but he might want to get that planetary fortress so that he can defend it a little bit easier than he would if he did not have it. But it's anybody's choice. There are reasons for both getting the planetary defense as well as the orbital command. Hatchery going up, and the first Reaper arrives, but there are already 4 Zerglings, 1 Queen, and 1 Roach. They should make quick work of this Reaper should the Reaper decide to engage, and this Reaper is just running away. Maybe he'll put on the brakes and take 1 shot at the Roach, and no, he does not choose to do that. Right now, the Zerg player, LiquidHayprO, does not actually see this expansion just yet, as he has not scouted that area. He does have a Roach Warden, and he is getting more and more units to saturate both bases, which is a good idea. 2 Roaches blocking the main path of the Reapers, as well as 2 Roaches here. Very good positioning of the units, and you see he's actually spreading the creep tumor, which is also very good, as it increases your unit's speed on creep, which is a key component to fighting off any mobile force that is non-mech. And here we see 3 Reapers gathering. The command center has gone up, but he's not actually moving the SCVs. This base is not fully saturated. The second base is just becoming coming online, and we missed a little skirmish between the Reaper and the Roaches there, both deciding not to engage at this time. The Roaches actually falling back to his buddies and collecting a couple more. The Reaper is sitting on their side of the map, and the Roaches sitting on their side of the map. Scan goes off, Metallic Boost coming on, a little bit late. A stem pack for Marines, as he's actually deciding to go with this basic infantry unit. There are quite a bit more drones than SCVs at the moment, but the income doesn't show that huge of a difference because there's actually 2 bases each, and he does have the secondary base at the high yield, which gives him slightly more minerals per mining journey. A couple of Reapers flying across the map, checking to see if there's any units. They should probably take a peek at the tower and do see some Zerglings. They should be able to snipe off these Zerglings, no problem. One Zergling goes to the tower to see what else is there. Doesn't catch a glimpse of much, and these Zerglings split. Will the Zergling make it down? No, the Zergling will not make it down there, as LiquidHayprO still does not know about this expansion here that is just getting saturated with mules as well as SCVs. Reapers hopped up on the high ledge going into the natural expansion. Takes off one probe, one drone, taking out some Zerglings, and they leap up to the high ledge. One thing you don't want to do with your drones, if you have enough forces to engage, is don't make your drones fight, because usually when the other player is microing like this, if they right click, stop, or right click and then hold position, they will attack whatever is attacking them usually, and that will let your drones go free. But if your drones were hostile toward the target, they will also target the drones as well. So it forces a little bit more micro on the opponent's part if they want to attack your drones and not your attacking units. That is all I wanted to say about that. And the creep is continuously spreading, which is a very good thing. And here we see a nice healthy mix of Marines and Marauders. No upgrade for them quite yet, no upgrade for the Zerg units, as he is getting the Roach speed, and sensing something as fishy, sends one Zergling down here, and he will see that there is an expansion. Because this one Zergling, 25 minerals, sees that there is an expansion here, he forces all the SCVs to pull back, as he cannot defend this against the Zerglings, as his units are not as quick, and most of the units are around here, so that's why the SCVs are falling back. But the Zerglings won't be able to do much. They do take off one SCV, and they can probably take down the refinery, as that's not a huge loss. This Zergling's out of position. He really needs to get on the tower, but he probably senses that the Terran is throwing down his forces there, so it's no problem so far. Factory going up for the Terran player, as this is actually the first a lot of factories. What is going on? Maybe mass something or other very, very, very soon. This is going to see a transition out of infantry. 2 Zerglings finish off the refinery, as that base is actually floating off. And here we see a Marine Marauder mix. These Zerglings are actually in good position, as the tower will not give vision of them, but he somehow senses that there are units over there, perhaps? Yes, he does. Yes, he does. And he wants to engage these Zerglings, and he will kill off a couple of Zerglings there. Not a huge loss. I think that was a bigger loss for the Terran player, as he has choose the stem, and now the stem has run out. And they catch this Roaches trying to get us around, but he will be able to get the first shots off, and then these Zerglings try to surround, prevent them from retreating, but they were unsuccessful at first. But now it seems that they've fully cut off the retreat, and this Zergling is just chasing down this one Marauder. This one Marauder will go down. These 2 Marines trying to save his Marauder buddy was not able to. And these Zerglings rushing into the base. Always a good idea to rush into the base and check out if your opponent has an expansion. Go check out the expansion. And he doesn't. Go check out the expansion. Do it, do it, do it. And this base is floating because there is a Zergling preventing him from landing. Very, very good play. More Zerglings and Roaches, as he has just recently gotten a Spire for LiquidHayprO. This one Zergling forcing a sizable force to come out for ajtls. That was a very good play by ajtls, because that one Zergling, he was able to see there was a couple of Hellions for ajtls. And now, we see Balings. Very, very healthy mix of Roaches, Zerglings, Balings. And we do see centrifugal hooks, which will increase the speed of the Balings. Hellions scouting the map to see if there's any leftover units. And now LiquidHayprO has tried to get the high yield as well as this expansion over here. LiquidHayprO likes to expand a lot. If you guys have seen his game number 1 and game number 2, he does like to expand a lot wherever he can. And these are two good spots, as this is not a very good spot to expand at this point. And we do see two Thors. This Overseer, I think he did pay for himself, even though he probably he will not die that time. He did spot the two Thors for the ajtls, the Terran player. This Overlord spreading creep to prevent the orbital command, to prevent a command center from landing. Gathering more and more units into the mix. It's always fun to see the hotkeys of the opponent or of any player. Right now, ajtls is going with the one command group, whereas we see for LiquidHayprO has two command groups. Seeing the control groups for players can often give you an idea of what they want to do, as you do see these Bailings separated, so he doesn't want to actually release all the explosive powers of the Bailings at once or on a group of units. And we do see this one Overseer able to escape once again. What a nice Overseer play by LiquidHayprO. Adding some Mutalisk into the mix. And we do see some upgrades for these units coming up relatively soon, as they are currently 0-0 and 0-0 for the Zerg players as well. And we see a bunch, one control group here and one control group here. Let's pause this for 1 second. We do see the Hellions in the middle, they're sort of out of position, and then we have some slower mech in the back. And let's see what's going to happen here. The Hellions are moving in, and these Mutalisks are able to take a couple of shots knowing that they don't have any anti-air, and now these units are running back. It's very important to note that LiquidPro is running with a couple of control groups, because right now he switched one control group to his Mutalisk and one to his other craps. And then we see two control groups now for ajtls, as we do see the Mutalisks are in the middle of the map kind of checking things out, and we see one group of units here, one group of units here, probably wanting to get us around. And these Mutalisks will want to try to encourage these units to come down here instead of through there, because he does not have a surround setup for that position. These Mutalisks just flying around, trying to lure them away, either into this choke or into this somewhat of a choke. And then we see these Hellions marching through straight, and now the plan has gone to motion, the bottom, the top, into a surround perhaps. And then we see units approaching from both sides, and we do see these roaches are making good work of the Hellions, and we see the Bailings coming down from the below, and he takes out, wow, very very large portion of the infantry. And now it's just roaches versus Thors, and these roaches are making quick work of the Thors, as one Thor has gone down, a second Thor is going down, second Thor goes down, and maybe even a third Thor. We do see some reinforcements for the Terran player ajtls, as this is very close. Will he be able to take down a third Thor? And if that last roach has decided to shoot instead of move, he might have taken out this last Thor with 5 HP. And look, I think we might be able to see a hero Zergling. And yes, this one Zergling does take down a Thor. Wow, that is a little bit of a misclick or a poor micro by ajtls, as he could have used this force to prevent that one Thor from falling. Sensing that he is slightly ahead, I think the Zerg player has opted to get some upgrades as well as more units. Same thing for the vehicle plating for the Terran player for ajtls. And here we see right now 4 bases versus 2 bases, the third base trying to float off in a direction. And we do see that these roaches are working on the barrier down here. This Zergling probably trying to prevent the landing of the command center. And here we go, going down right into the middle again, scanning to see what kind of forces he's going to be fighting against. But he doesn't see these roaches coming from the back to get us around. And then he's going to try and sandwich these forces in. And there's no way to run for these units, as they were not quick enough to run away. These Thors are relatively slow. And he will be able to take down all 3 Thors with these roaches and the SCV. And ajtl calls GG. Wow, what a really really cool and very good timing by LiquidHayprO. I look forward to casting them game number 3. Hope to see you there. Remember, always GG your games, and if you don't want to GG your game, at least say GG your face. See you guys next time.